1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport.
5 minutes after 1, I'm Mike Allen. Good morning. Many thanks to James Whale. It's Wednesday, it's September the 20th, 2006, and tomorrow, Ian Collins and Chessie return. This morning, though, I'm looking after the shop through until 6 o'clock, and delighted to say that, following public demand from last week, the numerologist Daniel Strafford offers his unique insights into your future and personality, so don't miss this extraordinary man. Call now on 08704 20 20 20, 08704 20 20 20. Later, Hugh Fielder, the music journalist, will be talking about the baby boomer generation that are still selling millions of albums and speculates as to why that might be. And the writer Richard Beard, he was so impressed as a child by the Australian sports people, he went to Australia to find out what made them tick. That and all your calls on 08704 20 20 20. We can even take a direct call, a text or email to Daniel if you write your question and put your date of birth. Yes, you can do all that. You can text to 81089. That's your regular charge with an extra 50p. Or you can send me an email, talksport.net. Or conversely, call and interact with Daniel Strafford on 08704 20 20 20. Daniel, good morning.
I was talking to myself again.
You get a better class of person like that, don't you?
I know, yeah. At least I don't get the arguments.
Yes, for sure. So we've had an interesting day today, lots of stuff going on, and it's a bit of a whirlwind, but something I was going to just mention to you, just apropos a conversation that occurred 150,000 years ago. John Reed is using old army barracks to use as prisons. And when he says he doesn't believe in early release for prisoners, he obviously means it. So we're going to be talking about that later on. It should be interesting.
Sounds like an old chestnut to me, Mike.
Diane is in Newham. Hello, Diane.
Hello.
Hello, Diane. I've got Daniel Strafford here. What I need from you is to have your date of birth. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come back to you, Diane, because there seems to be a bit of confusion as to whether you want to be there or not for the moment. So we'll just talk to Matt, who's in Manchester. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Hello, Matt. Got you at last. I've got Daniel Strafford here. All I need to have from you is your date of birth and the question you want to ask. So fire away.
22nd of the 7th, 83.
22nd of the
7th.
83.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan's here. What would you like to ask him?
Just a general what's going to happen.
Yes, well, where you are at the moment, you're in a time of new beginnings. And it's very important at the moment. Have you seen some changes this year, then?
Yeah.
Yes. And have you been aiming to do something specific?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's falling into place. If you haven't heard anything about it so far this month, it's about to happen. Between now and the end of this year is a very, very strong time for you. So the important thing for you to do is to push as hard as you can. Keep pushing forward, because it will help it fall into place. You're about to begin a very interesting period in your life. And, I mean, it's possible that you might feel you're struggling a bit financially at the moment, but that's going to improve.
Good.
Yeah. So keep pushing forward, but you need to still budget in the first half of next year. But once we get into the second half of next year, you'll start to see the benefits of these changes that are taking place. As I said, the balance of this month is very, very important. Keep pushing forward and going for the specific thing that you want.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Matt. Wish you well to do that. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Well, Daniel, lot of people, you know, like half the population immediately phone me and want to talk to you. We processed Diana, and where is she? There she is. And she's in Newham, and she wants to have a word with you. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Mike.
There, I've got you now. I can hear you properly now. So we just need two things from you, Diane. A question relating to future things you're interested in, or maybe you're just thinking what's going on around you at the moment. But to access that, Dan needs your date of birth, so it's over to you.
Well, it's my birthday today, so it's the 20th of September, 1937.
Right.
Many happy returns of the day.
Thank you.
And I hope the day is going to be a good one for you. Still, there's no reason why it shouldn't be, is there?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. So, have you been making changes recently?
Well, I want to make changes. I wanted to move, and I wanted also to start a small business.
I didn't get the second bit.
I wanted to start a small business.
And what's stopping you?
Probably finance.
No, I don't think so. The only thing that's stopping you at the moment is yourself. Everything that you want to do at the moment is there for you if you're prepared to push for it.
Yeah.
Now, it's a matter of you taking the initiative. This is a very, very strong time for you. So you've got to push on. If you push on the levels that you want to make progress on between now and the end of this year, between now and mid-December, it will have fallen into place by then. So the move of home is certainly, that just takes initiative and drive. Starting the business may need a little bit of playing around with, but it can be done. Yeah. I don't see a problem with either of these things, because at the moment you've got these very strong aspects, and I see no reason why you can't achieve them. Just keep pushing. It will happen. One thing I want to say about a home, in terms of the number of the home, either a home that has a number that equals 2 or 6. In other words, like 29 would be a good number for you, or 15 would be a good number for you. 2s and 6s are the best for you, because it's very important for you to have harmony around you in the home.
Right, well, I'm at number 13 now, so I don't think it's been too lucky.
I think it's probably been a little bit harsh for you,
yes,
and that's why I made the suggestion that you look for a home that has a number 2 or a number 6. Those for you are going to be much more compatible, and you're going to be much more comfortable in a home with those numbers.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
By the way, Daniel.
Yes?
I remember you a few years ago with your political...
Yeah, everything catches up with one in the end, doesn't it?
Yes, and it was so true, and I really enjoyed that programme with you and Mike, and I wish that Mike could bring it back again.
Well, stuff has a habit of coming round. You know, there's only 6 recipes in the world, Diane, and 7 days of the week to enjoy them.
Anyway, I've really enjoyed your programmes, and I hope to hear you again.
Thanks, Diane. Good luck, and a happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's good, isn't it?
Wasn't that a nice lady?
Yes, nice to get a nice birthday on the day.
Yes.
How do you fancy going to Belfast?
Oh, I'm up for it.
OK, Maureen's there. Hello, Maureen.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi. What's your date of birth, Maureen?
The 7th of 1147.
7/11/47. Is there something specific you want me to look at?
A house moving, you know.
29. Have you been trying to move this year?
Yes, I have been.
And there's been a block?
No, well, not that I know of.
I'm sorry?
Not that I know of.
Not that she knows of.
Well, I think that this is... there's something that's stopping you from moving, as far as I can see. It is not really an ideal time for you to move, Maureen.
Right.
I would say, thinking about where you are at the moment, it would be much better for you to leave it until 2008. Because in 2008, everything will be clear for you to move forward. At the moment, if you moved between now and the end of next year, it wouldn't work out, and you'd have to do it all again, and you'd have an awful lot of aggravation. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the time to sit on your hands as far as the home move is concerned, and wait till 2008, when everything will be clear, and it will be easy for you to move, and also for you to find the kind of place that you want.
Right.
But as I said, at the moment, I think there's a block there, even though you don't necessarily recognise it. And as far as I'm concerned, the sensible thing is to keep going forward with where you are at the moment, and plan your move for 2008. April 2008 is a very, very strong time for you, so that's the time for you to be directing your energies in terms of a house move. Then all of a sudden it will fall into place.
Right.
Good luck to you, Maureen.
Can you tell me anything else about my love life?
Well, that's a bit up and down at the moment. There's some concern about finances too.
Yeah, well, there is.
Yes. And this needs to be handled with great care, because if you're not careful, there might be a problem arising between the 11th and the 16th of November this year, and if that isn't sorted out, if that isn't handled with the greatest amount of care, it's going to come back and hit you quite hard around mid-April of next year. So great care is required in terms of handling your finances. This is another reason why I think you should stay where you are for the time being, and wait for this temporary storm to pass over. It will get better. It will do.
Good luck, Maureen. Thanks for the call. Daniel Strafford's with us. You're listening to Sports Talk. So listen, Dan, just looking around, is it possible to take a look at this week and say, yeah, it's going to be this sort of week, or here's a week to be aware of something that the whole population listening to could relate to, or is that not possible?
Well, in terms of where we are at the moment, this is a rather important time economically. I mean, obviously it's an important time politically. I'll just quickly deal with the political thing because it's quite interesting. Last night we had the beginnings of this trouble in Hungary. Tonight we've got this trouble in Thailand. I'm reasonably sure that sometime in the next 48 hours another country is going to have a major political problem. So that's something to look out for in the balance of this week. In terms of where we are for everybody, I think we've got to be everybody should be looking towards the period around mid-November because it's a very, very critical time economically. We might see a major problem in the financial markets around then, if not before. But certainly I think this period, 9th to the 16th or so of November, looks extremely critical. And maybe the 11th of November is even more important as far as that's concerned. Anything that happens economically is going to point us towards the difficulties that we're going to face economically next year. Interest rates are on the rise, Mike. It's going to happen along with inflation. Interest rates are going to get higher and higher over the next few years. So everybody needs to be thinking about the implications of that and be very careful about making investments in the stock market in the short term.
Vincent is in Chessington in Surrey. Hello, Vincent.
Oh, good evening, Mike.
I've got Daniel Strafford here. What's your date of birth, Vincent?
14th of January 1945. I did call him earlier, in the early part of this week. He might remember me. I'm a palm and tarot reader, so I do recognise his abilities. He's quite well known in his field worldwide.
Gosh.
Wow.
You surprised me about that one. Now, 5, 6. Yeah, you're in a period of change, Vincent.
Yes, I wanted to know about the love front, please.
The what?
The love aspect.
The emotional aspects.
Love and emotional aspects, yes.
Yeah. Well, there's been opportunities around you in recent months. However, what I would say is that they probably tended to be somewhat short-lived. You don't want to be banking on the new things around you at the moment. Once we get into October, things will start to stabilise. I like next year for you. It's quite positive in many ways, as far as that's concerned. But you need to make full use of your intuitive ability, because of the aspects in the chart might suggest that somebody will not be being straight with you. As far as that is concerned, that is the greatest problem in the short term. But the more time that goes by, the better this is going to be. So by the time we get to the middle of April of next year, these problems would be clearing away, and you'll be able to see your way forward quite clearly on that front. I would be very, very positive on that front for you next year, Vincent. I can't see anything that would not work out in the long term as far as that's concerned. If you meet somebody next year, I would be seeing that as something, as a situation of longevity.
Good luck, Vincent. You're listening to talkSPORT. Daniel Strafford's with us. You're quite big round the world, Dan.
Gosh, can't believe that.
Now, if anyone would like to be in touch with Daniel, I'm going to give you a number in just a minute, so you'll need to get a pencil and a piece of paper, because I promise you won't remember it. Because you never do when you want to. You set out to do something, don't you, and you never get it. Edwina is in Newcastle. Hello, Edwina. Daniel's here. What would you like to ask him?
Just a general reading, if possible.
Okay, have you got a date of birth for me?
16th the 12th, 1953.
Okay.
Right.
So a general overall.
Yes. So, where you are at the moment, Edwina, it's been a little bit trying this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
And at the moment, something seems to be coming to a head. Does it not?
Oh.
Are you aware of that?
No.
Well, has there been problems this month?
Sort of, yeah.
Yes. Well, what I could say about that is you're in a period where you're sorting things out. The things that are going to work will work, and the things that are not going to work won't work. It's as simple as that. it's a clear the decks time for you.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about it in the long term is that this will leave you free to move on, because I consider next year to be a very, very strong year for you.
Yeah.
It'll give you a chance to do things that you haven't been able to do before. It'll give you a chance to make a lot of progress. And financially, I think things are going to improve too. Have you had a legal problem around you this year?
No.
No, well, that's good. And have you travelled at all this year?
No.
No. Is there some involvement with somebody from overseas that you're aware of?
No.
There's some overseas or foreign thing here that that might have been a bit of a problem. Anyway, I mean, you're practically through it, so that's the important thing. As I said, I like next year because there's opportunities for you to change your financial life in some way, and there's also something that will come out of the blue. I see next year as a really interesting year. I appreciate that it's been a bit trying recently. Once we get through this month, the worst of the pressure will be over, although you need to be careful in November because you might feel a little bit emotional and a little bit tired and run down, so you're going to be more prone to colds and flu. So look after yourself properly as far as that's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But, as I said, the more time that goes by, the better it gets. I really like next year for you. It's very, very strong.
Thanks, Edwina. If you'd like to be in touch with Daniel to get an insight on a more personal basis, you can book a private reading or find out more information on 077 96 141452. Did I get that right? Yes, I think I did, Dan, didn't I?
Sorry?
Did I get this number right? 077 96 141452.
5-1.
5-1. You see, I just had a feeling that I was something out there. That's why I
Just one
had
number.
to turn to the numerologist, and suddenly it's all right. Debbie is in Sunbury. Hello, Debbie.
Hello.
Hi, Daniel Strafford's here. What would you like to ask him?
It's really just a general reading.
Okay, you got a date of birth for us?
Yes.
Make it easy.
It's 1804-58. I'm on the cusp.
There we are. And you thought she was by the wardrobe.
Oh, I'm not going there.
No, don't even start.
We'll all be in trouble again.
Again.
It's occupational hazard, isn't it?
It is.
Right. So this has been quite a sociable time for you, Debbie, this year. But it's also been slightly erratic for you emotionally, hasn't it?
Yes, really.
It has. Have you tended to overspend?
No, not really. Oh, yes, I have.
Yes, I thought so. In terms of next year, Debbie, you are going to have to make a budget and stick to it. Otherwise, this overspending could come back in a rather awkward manner for you. You can't afford to be quite as easygoing with the money next year as you have been this year. You've got to keep on top of that. It's rather important. What I would say, though, on another level, there's quite interesting. Are you thinking about travelling in the next 18 months, 2 years?
I have done a lot of travelling. I'm not as mobile as I used to be now.
No, but the thought is still there, isn't it? And you have some contact with somebody overseas.
Pardon?
You have some contact with somebody overseas. I think you do. Anyway, and if it's not specific at the moment, it will become more specific after your birthday. Next year is a bit of a tough year. You're going to have to work your way through this situation and keep on top of the pennies. But what I would say about that is that once we get to October next year, in other words, in around about 12 months' time, all these problems will begin to pass away. All these restrictions that you've had in the last few years will also pass away in some way that you'll have more freedom. So in other words, you've just got to go through the next little bit, and then it'll be onwards and upwards. In fact, I think it will get better, especially if you can keep a bit more in control of your emotions.
Ooh.
I always have problems with those.
Sorry, you've always had trouble with them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's why I said it. But you will find a better level for yourself once we get through the next 12 months or so.
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. So, Dan, let's remind folks of your office number. It's 07796 141451.
That's the one.
That'll be the one every time. See, I said it was that.
You're doing it to me again, Mr. Allen.
I don't know. I can't help it. Annette's called us. Hello, Annette.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, Annette. Annette, I need to have a date of birth from you.
27158.
27th of January, 58.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Annette, you've got Daniel Strafford all to yourself. What would you like to ask him?
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Basically, it's health and money.
Well,
Yeah.
do you mind we don't do the health?
No, that's fine.
But, you know, the money, Daniel does money.
Okay.
Now, the money side of it, I mean, obviously you're concerned about things at the moment.
That's correct.
And has a bombshell hit you recently? Or something big seems to have appeared in some way, or come home to roost in some way. What you need to do with this is to be very, very practical. You need to look at this situation and find, the more practical you are about this, Annette, the more likely you are to find a solution. There is a solution there. It may take you a month or two to come to it, and then start to move it on. But this is only a temporary situation as far as I'm concerned, in the sense that once we get into next year, again, you're going to be entering a new phase, and it will be onwards and upwards. And I like that, because there's emphasis of you moving forward, there's emphasis of you having the opportunity to do things that you've thought about. Is there a thought in your mind of something is there something that you've always thought, I'd really love to do that, but for some reason or other you haven't been able to do it?
Well, I do home jewellery costume design and make them, and should I say, do sell some on eBay. But
Yes.
I would like to make it bigger if I could.
Yes, well, next year is the time to start work on making it bigger, because you can lay the foundation for next year, which over the following 9 years, or the following 8 years, would provide you the opportunity to become much more self-sufficient and indeed make it a big success. It needs a little bit of planning, but
Right.
next year there's not going to be anything to stop you from pushing it forward. And if you make a proper start on that in April of next year, especially between the 5th and the 14th of April next year, you will find that by this time next year, in other words, September next year, it'll be onwards and upwards.
Okay.
Good luck, Annette. Wish you well. Thanks for the call.
Thank
Bye.
you very much.
Daniel Strafford's here. This is talkSPORT. I'm Mike Allen on 10:53 and 10:89 a.m. If you wanted to speak to Daniel, it's 08704 20 20 20. Alternatively, you can call his office number on a one-to-one basis, but not at the moment, because he's a bit legally engaged at the moment. His office number is 07796 141451. Do you know, we've spoken, and you've done readings for 7 people so far. It's
I know.
extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting through them.
Patricia is in Ayrshire, and she's very keen to have a chat with you. Hello, Patricia.
Hi, Mike. It's good to have you back on the radio.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I missed you.
Well-
Can I speak to Daniel?
You are. You're speaking to him. We need to have a question and a date of birth, please.
30th of the 3rd, 1953.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the beginning of that.
30th the 3rd, 1953. All the threes.
Mm-hmm. And have you got a specific question?
General.
Right. Ah, well, it's not too bad. We're moving forward. I like this. Yes. Has anything appeared in the last week or so?
Yeah, a ghost.
A ghost?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Yes.
Before I bought this house, I found out when I bought this house 6.5 years ago, a man hung himself in the garage.
Oh, really? What's the house number?
1A.
1A. Right.
I'm not getting any more information out from that.
No, sure, no. That's all. It was only the number that I was curious about as to why. I want to talk at the moment about something else, and I'll come back to that in a second. I see that you've got a lot of creativity, Patricia. You're somebody that should be doing
I was a nurse.
I'm sorry?
I was a nurse.
Yes, but I think I'm not saying that you weren't a wonderful nurse. You probably were a wonderful nurse, but
Yeah.
I think you've got creative talent, and I think that the more that you aim towards using it, the better it would be, and the more that it would provide for
I'm
your life.
also blind from the First Gulf War.
I'm sorry?
I'm also blind from the first Gulf War.
Aha. Well, I still think that you've got creative ability, so the more that you use your communication skills, the better it is for you. So I don't see that as a block. As far as
of course not, because I've learned
to adjust to it
myself to use a computer, etc., etc.
And I think that's not something that you should be aiming to develop as much as possible, because I think it could bring you success, because you've got some very interesting aspects for success in that sort of area. So don't neglect that. Now, to come back to what you said, I think this is a phase and it will pass, and I would expect it to pass by the time we get to, well, early December. It is just a phase, and it's something...
Oh, what? The phase of the ghost?
Yeah. The phase of the presence, and it will pass, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I've had this house exercised.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, as I said, I think it's a phase. It may be that in some way you're being shown something, because it works on another level as well, and it's just something that is there, and it will disappear. I wouldn't worry about it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a temporary situation and will pass away quite quickly.
Thanks very much, Patricia. Daniel Strafford's here. I'm Mike Allen. You're listening to talkSPORT. We're going to take a short pause, and then we're going to be back with Jackie and Joe and Kevin and maybe yourself, yeah? The number is 08704 20 20 20. Hi, Mike Allen. This is talkSPORT. Daniel Strafford's our special guest this morning. Daniel appeared on talkSPORT last week, and wow, everyone said, don't let that one slip away. So we won't. Jackie's called us from Bracknell. She wants a word with you, Dan. Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Mike.
Hi.
Hello, Dan.
Hi.
Have you got a date of birth for me, Jackie?
Yes, 14/8/50.
1950?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything specific you want me to look at?
There are, a couple of things quickly. I'm quite a positive person. I've had quite a tough, challenging time over the last 5 years. And the next 6 months, there's a project or something that's happening, and I just want to know, it's quite challenging, how I'll succeed, if I'll succeed, and what will happen to me in the future, in the next year or so.
You say this thing is going to run for about 6 months?
Yeah. And it's just something that I'm involved in, and I just wondered how it will pan out.
And it's just coming to fruition now?
Sorry?
It's just coming to fruition now?
Yeah, in the next few weeks, yeah.
The next few weeks.
It's not a job or anything as such, but it's something similar.
Well, I can tell you straight away, it is going to take more than 6 months.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing will take more than 6 months, I know that.
Yeah. I mean, we are talking about at least until early October next year.
Yeah.
It's going to take that period of time.
Yeah.
It is going to be very hard work.
Yeah.
It needs an awful lot of attention to detail.
That's right, yeah.
This is not something where you can do it on a wing and a prayer. You've got to do it properly. And if that means you've got to sit down and work out figures from now until midnight tomorrow, then that's what you've got to do.
Right.
Because the only way you're going to make this work is through practicalities.
Yeah.
It needs very careful budgeting. I stress that. It needs very careful budgeting. And there is probably some problem involved in it that you're not currently aware of, but will appear once you start doing it.
Yeah, I understand.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, very much so. I mean, it's not it's not a personal project. It's a long-term project involving quite a few other people.
Yeah, and does it require you to communicate in some way?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Oh, well, that's good, because you're good at that. Yeah. And it's not a 9-to-5 type situation.
No.
Thank God for that, because that would drive you mad.
You're right.
Because you're not a 9-to-5 person.
No.
I mean, you're what they call a free spirit to a certain extent.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
And you need the freedom to move. In order for you to be successful, Jackie, you need the freedom to move around within a situation. So 9-to-5 doesn't suit you. A strict structure doesn't suit you.
No.
But I keep coming back to this bottom line here. In order to make this work, it's going to need a lot of hard work and attention to detail.
I know.
And do watch the money. But if you follow that
thing is, it's not my money.
Sorry?
It's not my money, but I understand what you're saying about watching the money.
Yeah. Yes, it's not a matter of watching the money so much, it's a matter of budgeting carefully to make sure that everything is taken account of. Because, as I said, my instinct about this is that somewhere in the middle of this, there's something that hasn't been thought about and it's going to cost extra. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, yeah.
However, come this time next year, you'll be nearly through it, and it'll be onwards and upwards, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the last 5 years have been quite a stumbling block. And I am a positive person. I've got through it because of my positivity, and I just want to know sort of future.
Well, once we get to October next
time
year,
I can look over, sort of over that bridge.
Yeah. Once we get to October next year, you'll be coming into a period where all these things around you will be moving away, and suddenly life will take off for you again, and you'll probably be travelling in 2008.
Thanks, Jackie. That's something to look forward to, a bit of travel.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Kevin is in Newcastle. He needs to have a chat with you. Hello, Kevin.
Hello there, you alright?
Hi, yeah, we're doing great, but I need you to have a question and a date of birth for you, please.
Question really is about work-wise and love life, and my date of birth is 4th of the 1st, 71.
4th of the 1st?
71.
71.
Right. So...
Nice, easy one first, Dan. Love life. You saved that one up, didn't you, Kevin?
Sorry. Yeah, it always has its little bits, does it not? So where we are at the moment. Yes. Well, your love life, Kevin, is a little bit erratic. And things have been a bit up and down. It should begin to stabilise, but it is going to need work as far as that's concerned next year. Work-wise, there's opportunities around for you, Kevin, but I think